Welcome to La Taverna Friuli Wines, the definitive podcast on wines from Friuli, Venezia Giulia. I'm your host, Wayne Young. Okay, we're here. Justo, Chris, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to La Taverna. I'm going to start pinging people into the room here. Hopefully we'll get a lot of people here to talk to Marco Cecchini.
Can they talk to us?
They can talk to us. Yeah,
cool.
I can put
That's
them
cool.
up on stage.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hopefully we'll get some folks in here. Yeah, I control that. I'm in control.
Yeah, I know you are in
But
control.
yeah, I'm also sending out some notices to people just to make sure that they know that we are here and ready to listen to them. So hopefully they're going to come in. But I'm sure the room will fill up as time goes on. Marco, thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks to you.
Really nice to thanks, and thanks for bringing this this wine. Heather has just come into the room. She's a regular listener, so she's one of the stalwarts. So I'll bring Heather up on stage. I'm sure she'll have something to say or a question to ask. So my favorite ex-wife Vanessa is here as well. That's true. Okay. She's here. She often comes and listens. So before we get started, I just wanted to sort of talk about something that happened yesterday for the podcast, which is super exciting for me. Ben Little, who I'm sure you've met Ben Little, the guy who wrote the Pignolo book. Yeah. He's been on the show twice, last week with Paolo Rodato, and then during the summer when we talked about his book. His book just got an amazing review on Jancis Robinson's website.
Wow.
And they mentioned the podcast.
Wow.
So I'm like super happy about that. So hopefully
we will
have
boost
some, I mean,
listeners.
I mean, this is a labor of love for me. So but I'm hoping that it'll grow and it'll become something because I really enjoy doing it. That's right. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we've got some folks in here. Marco, again, thanks for coming, and let me, I don't know, how can I possibly introduce you? I've known you through various meetings at Vinitaly, maybe? That's where we first met, possibly?
Yes.
When you were working with Warren Fraser.
Yeah. It was our link.
Yeah, I think so.
Link, yeah.
I think he brought me over to meet you.
Yes, definitely.
I think that's how it worked out.
I think it was 2004 or 2005.
It was a while ago, yeah.
So it means that you're getting old. So
nobody's getting any younger, my friend.
No.
No. So you're basically a one-man show. You do it all yourself.
Yeah. I like. Yeah, this is a good definition, and I always, when I'm out talking about myself, I said that I am sort of one-man band,
Exactly.
The ones that are at the corner on the streets and they play different instruments. Oh well, in the States they told me that you can also say the one-man army because you like army. Yeah, you like.
we like bombing stuff. So you're a one-man army.
But I prefer the one-man band.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Yes, and by now I have a long story because my very first harvest was in 1998, and I was still studying at the university in Trieste. I was studying international economics and foreign exchange value markets. Mm-hmm. It was a sort of, really when you're 18, you don't know exactly what you're going to do in your life. Well, I know some people that know exactly what they would have done in their life, and
they're lucky people.
Definitely.
I still don't know what I want to do. I'm 56.
In some ways, I can say the same. And so I had the opportunity, the chance. My grandfather owned a house and a hill, but it was planted with vines only for half of an hectare. He used to produce, let's say, the total in bottles there were 2,000 bottles. There were just damigianas. He used to sell to a few trattorias, one in Pampaluna that make the bisat, which is the eel.
Yes.
The eel.
Allo speo.
Exactly. And the rest of the wine was drunk during some little parties he used to do in the winery.
So basically personal consumption.
Yes, and he asked me and my father, who had some experience in the winemaking, because we used to sell winery equipments like tanks, filling machines, filter, etc., to help him for that harvest. And so, in some ways, I was also a really opportunist, because I was a kind of 1 year late with the studies, and I was supposed to go to the army, but because I opened my own business, I had the come si dice l'esenzione, the exemption, I think. How do you say?
Exemption, yeah.
Exemption from the military. Yeah. So, but for 3 years, I abandoned my room in Trieste, where I used to study and party, and started following and going on with the job in the vineyards and bottling my very first bottles that came from 1998, and I have some of them in my winery. So if you ever will pass by, we can maybe share one. I opened one 1 month ago. It was a Verduzzo from 1998 and was still in good shape.
Wow.
And in 2001, when I get my university degree, it was a matter of honor to finish the university course. I was lured to this job because it's a marvelous job, and I decided with my family to try to make it more professional. So we reshaped the hill and replanted it. Now it's close to 2 hectares of mostly Tokai and some Chardonnay. We built a new part of the winery in 2003 and 4 because thinking now about that, maybe it was my big mistake, because I followed too much the ideas of my parents, that was to grow. They were different years, the things seemed to be always easy and the money were running all around. So I reached in 2007 10 hectares, 11 hectares, and I had free
property.
Property.
Okay.
No, for rent.
Vineyard,
mostly for rent. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had 3 people helping me, but it was not exactly the job I dreamt to do. So I decided, after a break with my girlfriend that time, who was also the enologist of the winery, was Sonia, and was one of my big teachers, you say?
Yeah.
Può dire? Maestri.
Yeah, teachers, yeah.
Teachers, okay, in winemaking, to do some downshifting, and now I work 4 hectares by my own. I do the pruning, the trellising, the bending, trellising, and all the work in the vineyard till May or June, when I ask a person to help me putting in order the canopy.
Okay. Canopy management, yeah.
Yeah, doing some canopy management. And it's 2 years. I have a stagist that worked with me 2 years ago that helps me in the winery, in the wine making, 1 or 2 days per week, because I had 2 daughters in 2011 and 2021, and they get you very busy.
2011?
No, 2019 and 2021.
Yeah. So it's like she doesn't seem that old.
No. One is 2 years and the other one is 6 months.
Just born, yeah.
In these years, I had 4 maybe great teachers in my life. One was my father. The second one was Alessio Dorigo.
Ah.
Yeah. He was my mentor at the very beginning of
No kidding.
Yeah. the very beginning.
I just had Alessio on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I know, and I have to thank him. It's a long time I don't meet him or talk to him.
He does like a jam session every Sunday night, you know. And he's
finally back to what he likes.
Yeah, metal, Slayer,
metal.
Yeah, and that's where Alessio and I connect as well. So we'll have to make a date where we both go on a Sunday night, you and me.
That would be nice.
We'll hang out and we'll drink and we'll listen to Alessio shred.
And it was very nice because he opened with his. He opened at that time. It was 2002 or 3. An analysis and laboratory where he used to make some also. Come si dice in italiano, che poi mi viene in inglese forse. Some consulting, yeah. And it was really a think tank place because there were a lot of producers coming from the other wineries bringing the wines to make the analysis, and there was a lot of talking about winemaking. It was very important for me.
Who were some of the other producers who were?
I remember at that time there was Damian Podvercic.
No kidding.
Yeah, wow. And a few times I met Movia. And then he used to have also there were at the very beginning the Vignette d'Aduline.
Okay.
And then there were a lot of people.
Must have been.
Only tasting the wines from the Dorigo winery when they were there during the harvest. It was a huge experience for a young guy like me who didn't made any sort of study about the winemaking, you know.
Okay.
The third one was Sonia Deloste, my girlfriend, who was she was an enologist. And the fourth and the last was Thomas Malatesta, who works now for the Danieli, who is a super young guy, but he
wasn't he doing Prosecco for a while?
Not that one, another Malatesta, a serious one. And now he works for the Danieli. And he really changed also the wines.
So where are you, for people who are listening, because obviously I know you and where you are, but where are your wine vineyards located? It's a very particular spot.
Yeah, we are in the far east of Friuli. We can say also the people is from the far east.
Far east. Not China, but
no, of Italy. We are in Friuli, in the Colli Orientali, and exactly between Udine and Cividale, which is, let's say, the upper or northern part of the Colli Orientali. Yeah. We are very close and to the Prealpi Giulia, and so we also have a different not terroir, climate.
So you're still considered Colli Orientali?
Yeah.
Okay,
but it's a fresher area, so we have
Faedis.
It's you have 1 Celsius of difference, average difference between Faedis and Butrio, for example, or Spessa. So we are fresher. We have more winds because we are close to the mountains, so the thermic move the air, so the cold air comes down in the morning and the hot air comes up in the evenings.
Okay.
When it's eaten on the plains and returns to the mountains. And so we have this windy place, not that windy, but there is a movement of air. So it also helped us to make the choice to go organic. Since 2004, but now we started the bureaucratic the certification process since 2014. Because in 2004 I used to have a sort of consultant for the agronomy part, but he used to suggest me to use too much chemical stuff in the vineyards, like herbicides and, for example, the mancozeb. And so, because I was still studying and I read that the mancozeb, for example, is teratogeno and cancerogeno. So
mancozeb.
Mancozeb, it's a chemical you spray on the vines against peronospora. Okay, it's very common in winemaking. So I started there I decided, okay, because I like to drink the wines with my friends, so I really don't need to poison myself. I just smoke cigarettes, it's enough. And so I decided to move to just copper and sulfur and do the mechanical cleaning of the
grass.
Of the grass. Yeah.
So you're still doing that today?
Yeah. But I don't know. In some ways, the certification process really mi ha un po' deluso, come può dirlo?
Disappointed you?
Yeah, because it's just a matter of papers, you know.
Okay.
No one had ever took a bottle from my winery and make some analysis on that, and okay. I find it incredible. I mean,
so basically, it's like all
it's all papers. They just check what did you buy, and what did you use, and just read what you write down, and don't check the wine in the bottle.
In Italian,
my opinion, it's absurd.
Autocertificato.
Yes, exactly.
So,
So I'm thinking about that because today there is a lot of attention on organic or natural wines. But in some ways, the people feels that organic products in general, they look like also as industrial products, because the industry of the food industry get into, and so and also the rules to make organic food and wine, etc. In some ways have large anomalie larghe. They allow you to use a lot of stuff because they have in some ways get involved with also the food industry, the big players, you know. So.
And obviously, they have a lot of influence over what you can and can't use, and still call organic.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about that. But on the other side, I prefer to have something that really says what I'm doing, instead of having a wine which I call natural wine. That means nothing at all. Okay, you make a sort of auto-certificazione, it's nice, but why should I sell my wines at a lower price, for example, just because some industry winemakers makes organic wines at €2.80? I found an organic Grillo at Aldi, which is a discount supermarket at €2.80. Retail on the shelf, and it was organic with the leaf, and say, oh, come on, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So, but I will, because I'm a hard head, I will go on and do it. Yeah.
So your prime, I don't know, the reason that you decided to be organic was just for your own personal preference.
Yeah, which means...
You said you want to drink with your friends and not put chemicals in your body.
It's my choice, but your choices influence the world choices. So I think that if we can change the world, we should not start trying to change the world in Afghanistan right now, who front big problems, but maybe doing something in your little circle, trying to be clean, try to be organic, try to do not waste too much stuff. If you save some money, give them to the Afghan guys, but start small and then you can grow. If everyone does do that, the world maybe will be better.
Yeah, maybe. It's called cleaning your own room. They call it.
Okay, cleaning your
before
own.
You can sort of say, let's clean up the world, you got to clean up your own room.
So, I mean, things go strictly together, you know. Yeah. Your choices, it's the choices you make in the world.
Yeah.
Also for the other people. So, I'm proud, to give a wine which is light in sulfites, with no chemicals inside and all these sort of things.
Okay.
It's simple. You don't need any very philosophic on that. It's just a matter of things.
I want to ask you, because you've gone through some changes. Your labels have changed. The types of wines that you have changed. Because I remember you were super famous for the Tove.
Yeah.
which was Tokai and Verduzzo.
Yeah,
Do you still make that?
No. We just moved to the Friulano.
Okay.
We are allowed to use up to the 15% of a different varietal inside the wine, and still have the DOC Friulano, and we still use some Verduzzo for some enological reasons, because the Verduzzo is one of the few wet grapes as rich in tannins as a red wine, and so it allows me to use less sulfites in a white wine when making.
So it's a natural
but I prefer,
antioxidant.
Yeah, I prefer to call it Friulano. First, because I planted a hill of Friulano, and as we were talking before, not during this.
But before them.
Before in a private talk. We need a sort of flag wine. Can I say flag wine?
Or flagship.
Flagship.
Wine. We would call it a flagship wine.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, by the way.
And so I think it's Friulano. So I will prefer. I preferred to change and moved from Tove, which was a fantasy name that I invented when I was 20. You know, as I said before, the vineyard was so small, and we had many different varietals, because the Friulano was liked by my aunt, and maybe the Verduzzo was liked by the grandfather, and maybe the Merlot was liked by the grandmother. And so I decided to make just 3 wines, and the simpler way to give them a name was to take the very first part of the name. So Tove was Tokai and Verduzzo, and I used to produce a Verlit, which was a sweet wine, a Verduzzo and Picolit.
Okay.
And the Carene, which was a Bordeaux blend with Cabernet Refosco and Merlot.
So now you have these monovarietal wines.
Pardon?
They're all single varietal wines. You don't make blends anymore.
No.
Only.
No. Yeah,
and so what are the wines that you make now?
I made a Friulano, which is a cru that I made just only with the grapes that come from my winery, the property winery, that I called 1867, because at the top of the hill there is a sort of recovery for shepherd made in stone, which was made in 1867. It's sculptured on the top of the little house.
You took me for a walk up there once.
Yeah. And then I make the Monsieur Verduch, which is
what we're drinking right now.
It's a dry Verduzzo,
which is great. I mean, we've almost finished the bottle already.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to drink and easy.
And as I said before,
delicious.
we had a great success at the Fivi and the Piacenza Trade Fair, because it's a sort of red wine with a white dress. It has some
red wine with a white dress.
Yeah, it has some little strawberry notes and some lamponi. Lamponi, it's raspberries. Raspberry notes, and then you have also this tanning on the back of the palate that comes from the Verduzzo. It makes it helped me in 2020 to save my year, because I sold maybe 4,000 bottles of this wine, of the 18 vintage in the States, through my importer. Yeah, because it was put in the orange wines shelf, and now orange wines are very popular. This is not strictly an orange wine. Looks like an orange wine, because it's the Verduzzo, but it's not that. No. We make a 15, 16 we make 15, 16 hours of skin contact at cool temperature, just to do not oxidate it, to have it fresh and lean, straight to the point. And then I make 2 French-style international wines, like a Pinot Bianco, which is fermented in French oak, 100% new. And his twin is the Chardonnay, which is fermented also that in French oak, to have this sort of... I like to call myself a sort of terrorist of the genres, un terrorista dei generi.
Okay. A terrorist of types of genres.
Genres, yeah, because I like to make, let's say, the vertical wines like the Friulano. Then I make a sort of macerated wine like the Monsieur Verdoux. There's some French style wines like the Pinot Blanc and the Chardonnay. And the other white that I produce, it's 600 bottles per year production. It's a Riesling, which is a sort of sword in your palate, completely different, very, very sharp, fresh,
super acidity.
Super acidity and very fresh on the nose. And then the only red wine that I produce is a Refosco dal Peduncolo Rosso, which is another native varietal from my region, and in my opinion is the red wine that we should push. I mean, around the world. In my opinion, the two flagship wines should be the Friulano and the Refosco, which are the most.
I totally agree with you.
Famous. I mean, the Pignolo is very interesting. Also the Schioppettino, but they have a very little production. And as we said before, you need a sort of forza d'impatto, some
massa critica, critical mass
of bottles to go to the market and say, hey, here we are in Friuli, we make great wines. I mean, look at us.
Yeah. I did Ottobre Rosso Refosco. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do it again next year, if not before.
Okay.
And that sort of was born of this whole idea. It's like, well, what is the red wine of Friuli?
Yeah.
And everybody said, okay, Pignolo, but there's 12 hectares of Pignolo and all, maybe. Schioppettino, but Schioppettino works in Prepolto and maybe one or two other little places. But
they make 30,000 bottles of Schioppettino, maybe in North Friuli Venezia Giulia.
30,000 bottles. If they make 30,000 bottles, Chala makes half of it.
Okay.
So, no, they make more. But anyway, I think, you need something that you can make from Faedis to Trieste to Spilimbergo. And I don't know if you've ever had a Refosco from like Aquileia. They're really good.
Yeah, super good.
They're really good in that sandy soil. So for me,
I totally
where
agree. The Refosco comes from.
Is born, from that area.
They said that.
Well, but there's also a Refosco that's from your areas, from Faedis. Why did you choose Peduncolo Rosso instead of Refosco di Faedis?
Well, because
does everybody in Faedis hate you because you didn't choose it?
No. They have their own association and they really push it. But I think that the wine world is a very huge world. And any wine have his own dignity. But if you like to make, what we call the great wines, the wines that can get some standards of quality, like a good balance and thickness and color and complexity of the nose. What you really need to watch at is the shape of the grape and of the berries, And the Refosco dal Peduncolo Rosso, for example, has medium small berries, while the Refoscone di Faedis has very large berries. And the noble part of the wine is on the skin, like on the fruit, on the veggies. They told you to eat, otherwise when you get old,
Eat the skin on your vegetables,
Exactly. So if you have small berries, you have a richer wine at the very end because you have less water and more noble part. It's like for the Ribolla Gialla, Maybe sometimes for the Ribolla Gialla, generally speaking, they are very simple wines, aperitif wines you drink easily, and they have their own, la loro dignity. They have their own dignity, but you cannot say they are great wines. In my opinion, the best way to wine make the Ribolla is as a sparkling wine.
Really?
Yeah, I think so because
this is its best expression.
Yeah, because it gets the aromatic ripeness, for example, as we said, but not the technical one, because you can pick it at 11 degrees of alcohol, so you don't pick them unripe to make then the fermentation at the sugar and get the 12 degrees and a half. No? You get them ripe, but at the right alcohol percentage that you can make a sparkling wine doing the process, etc. Gotcha. It's my opinion, okay? But it's not the truth.
Everybody has their own opinion. That's true.
Unfortunately.
So we're almost about the halfway mark here, because I know that you.
Really?
Yeah, see how fast time goes?
Yeah.
When you start having fun?
Yes.
And we have two people on stage, Heather and Rosella. Mm-hmm. So I want to give them a chance to ask you a question if they have some. So Heather is here, and I'm sure she wants to say something. Heather is actually doing like this huge and amazing project.
Okay.
Where she's ordering and tasting, and she has a blog where she tastes just Friulano.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
she's a
Heather,
crazy one.
Yeah, but that's why she comes and listens to me. So anyway, Heather, how you doing?
Right. I'm doing great, thank you. I've enjoyed listening to you, Marco. I really am intrigued by your wines. I actually found one of your Friulanos for sale in a store in New York, and I've already got it shipping to me. So yes, I'm in Georgia in the United States. So
get it. I think it's the Friulano 2018. It was a great harvest,
great vintage.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to try that one and have it on my list. But I just wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on the 2021 vintages that you've just harvested and are moving along. What is your opinion or take on what you think they're going to be like?
Oh,
good question.
It's a good question. It's a difficult question to answer too, because the wines, I get some ideas about the wines really after 1 year they are made. It was first of all, it was a very nice harvest because it was a good weather harvest. So the timing in the winemaking is very important. And so to choose the right day when to pick, and it's easy when the weather is good because you can delay it for a couple of days if needed, or anticipate if you need more freshness or whatever you need. So in that way, it was a very good harvest. We faced a lack of production because of the very tough rains and cold weather in May.
Yeah.
This year in Italy in particular, we're facing some problem with all the fruits. There was a lack of cherries.
Cherries were like zero
at all.
Yeah.
Peaches, all the veggies and the fruits were very expensive this year because of these weather problems. And then after the rains and the cold climate in May, which happened during the flowering of the vines, so the flowering and all the process of the berry making was affected. We had a very arid summer, so there was little water in the berries. The berries were very small. For the reason we said before, we had a lot of, in this way, we had a lot of noble part and less water. So we had very little production of a high quality for the structure and the emptiness of the wine. So I think it will be a super nice harvest, not as the 2008, which for my winery was great because we had super good quality and a very important production. Very, very high yield.
2008 or 2018?
18, yeah. So at the very end, and I used to sell my wines always after 2 years. My grandfather used to tell me, wait 2 summers and 2 winters before selling the wines because they get to their own architecture, la loro architettura, to their own structure. So maybe after this winter, we can understand something about how the aromas will move, but in my opinion, it's 7.58 harvest. If we
on a scale of 1 to 10,
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
What was 2018 a 10 out of 10, or was that like a 9.5?
It's never a 10.
Never a 10.
Never a 10.
No, okay.
The 10 is always the one you have to make.
Yeah, that's your dream, right?
Yeah.
I also have Rosella up here on stage. Rosella, did you have a question for Marco? Rosella is from Trieste.
Rosella.
Yeah. But nope, seems like Rosella is just listening right now, so that's fine. So we'll keep on moving.
Keep on moving.
So Rosella has disappeared. Poof.
Wow. Okay.
Very disappointing. And, she's back anyway. So so Marco, I just wanted to. So why Pinot Bianco?
Pinot Bianco because I have on rent a vineyard in Togliano.
Okay.
And which is another village close to Faedis in the Colli Orientali del Friuli, far east of Friuli Venezia Giulia. And it's a 1960 T7 vineyard. It's very old, and it always gives me very good grapes, because the old vines respond. Respond to the climate changes very little. They always give you a good quality product. So I choose to make it. I choose to produce it as a straight wine. The big choice was if maintain the freshness and the pear aromas of the wine. So just vinificating still tanks, for example. But I chose to ferment and to age it in French oak, because I like to give to this wine this velvety and soft appeal that pairs very well with the fresh notes of pears and white chocolate that comes from the vinification. So it's one of the wines that people prefers from my winery. Beside the Verduzzo and the Furlano. Yeah, on the Chardonnay we have a super Chardonnay, but there is a sort of inflection of Chardonnays all around the world. There are too many Chardonnays.
Yeah. There's a flood, a glut of Chardonnay. Yeah. Yeah, Pinot Bianco is. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose Pinot Bianco over Chardonnay personally.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but
they
I've
are
had
different.
a lot of fights.
They're different. I think the Chardonnay is one of the best grapes for this reason. It's made all over the world. It grows always well and gives you this tropical fruit aromas. The secret is to find the right woods were fermented to give some nuances, some wood notes to this tropical appeal, and maintain the freshness of the wine, the acidity, just not to make it too much buttery and large and bold.
Malolactic, do you do in these wines, or do you avoid them?
We do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're really talking about these very full style of
not that much, because in Faedis, as I said before, we start from cooler grapes.
Okay.
So it maintains the freshness. It's really like a Bourgogne style Chardonnay. Yeah.
I know I've had your Pinot Bianco, and I've always really loved it.
I should have brought one bottle to you next time.
I'll come up and see you.
Okay.
I also actually wanted to talk a little bit about that, because you've kind of changed your business plan since COVID, right?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this when I came up and saw you up in Faedis a month or two ago.
This year we opened Frasca, which is not the Frasca is a traditional way to sell a glass of wines in the winery.
Right.
But we opened, technically speaking, an agritourism also to pair the wines to some food stuff that comes from the territory, like some goat cheeses and cold cuts that are made on my territory. And yes, this was an idea that grew up with my wife, who used to be a theater actress.
Yeah, she's an actress.
She's an actress. But now, since we had the two little girls, she had to abandon for a while that sort of job, because it means to go around Italy doing the tourneys, which was impossible to do. With two girls, because the theater actors are not paid like Angelina Jolie, so you can have 2 or 3 tatas, sleep in a hotel, a 5-star hotel, etc., etc. They get little money.
I thought it was so glamorous.
No, in some ways I was unhappy to start this sort of our little family, because it all begins when she started having a big success with her company, but life goes as it has to go. So now we're very happy, and so we started this Frasca also to change the core business. I get much more happiness in selling my wines directly to the people that comes to visit us, because I can sit with them, I can suggest a good pairing of food and wine, I can take them and bring them to make a wall in my vineyards, and there is a different approach and relation you build. I always thought that a wine is a sort of message in a bottle, like the ones you leave on a sandy beach and you find it on the other side of the world. And I always thought that when an American, like our friend, will open a bottle of my wines, she will feel also the environment where they grow, like maybe a clean blue sky day up on my hill, while the green grass grows slowly and the grapes get ripe, and you can feel spring or summer or whatever you want to feel. And I think that I can do it better in my home, because all the commercial chain, you have an agent that talks about you to a restaurant guy that talks about you to the final customers, and all the information, like the telefono senza fili, like the child game happens. So you lose information, and in winemaking, let the people know how you work, and it's very important, because the wines that I have a lot of colleagues that make great wines, and they are all marvelous people, and everyone should let the people know what they do and how do they do that. And I can do it easily in my frasca. And I call it frasca turismo because it's an agriturismo in a frasca mode. So easy. I'm not a wine nerd. I don't.
Thank God.
I don't like to. In italiano si dice spaccare il capello, no? Cioè,
split hairs.
Split hairs on wines. I prefer the as a philosophical approach, the drinking wine with the people on a table eating something. La convivialità. Conviviality?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think that is the right way to drink wines. Not to talk too much about them.
And it's a temporal experience. Wine. Temporal means it's limited in time.
Yeah. Temporal. Okay. Temporal. Okay.
Excuse me. So you're there with a glass of wine with your friends, and there's no way to really take a picture of that. You can take a picture of you with your friends together at the table, but you can't take a picture of that moment when the wine hits your palate and you have memories and you have experiences and emotions that come through with that sip of wine. And it's very uniquely personal. And you being there personally for that moment I think is important.
Yeah, it makes the difference.
Yeah.
We have great reviews on the Google reviews or whatever it is about how we do our job in the winery.
Well, you guys are super social people.
Yeah,
You've always been, it's really easy to talk to and very pleasant. Obviously, you can hear. Your wife is wonderful, and this huge smile that she has. She's just absolutely fantastic at welcoming people. So you guys are really, really good at that.
Thanks, sir.
No, and my biggest regret is that I haven't spent more time up there drinking with you, but that'll change.
Yeah,
for sure.
Next spring.
Yeah, for sure. Are you going to stay open through the winter or no?
Yeah, we are going to be open to up to the 23rd of December, just to get the people that likes to get some wine for presents for Christmas and offer them something to eat and a glass of wine. We have some happenings on Sunday. We have lunch, a special lunch, which is cooked by the woman that makes the goat cheese for us, and it's all a veggie raw lunch. So
veggie
raw lunch, only with the raw materials, fermented.
Raw.
Raw.
Oh, okay.
Raw.
I think you say
Sorry.
roe, like
No.
fish roe.
No.
Oh,
Raw.
raw. Okay.
So we have a 5-course menu with fermented pumpkin, fermented black cauliflower, and nuts mayonnaise to pair with the wine. Yeah, it's nice. It's a 16 seats. We are waiting for the very last reservations.
So you're almost full.
Yeah, kind of.
Now, last week we had Paolo Rodado here.
Okay.
And he said that there are questions you should never, ever ask.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ask them.
Okay.
But I do want to ask, since you've sort of made this shift, sort of concentrating on your home territory
Yeah.
and selling wines, obviously you haven't given up the markets that you already have.
No, we would like to continue to go on with the
New York
people.
is still big for you.
Yeah, truly, it's the 60% of our business.
New York, just New York.
Yeah,
Wow,
New
that's
York
great.
and all the coast. My importer works.
Like tri-state, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey.
But he started doing also some other states all around.
Is that still Warren?
No,
No.
it's Greg Reeves from T. Edward Wines, and we do
T. Edward, okay.
we do some exports also in South Carolina or North Carolina. I don't remember exactly. We used to sell also the wines in Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio.
Okay.
It was fun when I was there, and yeah. But we want to maintain the people that where we have a deeper relation.
Of course.
That understand
You don't want to
other
give that up.
wines. No, definitely no.
No. Outside of the U.S., where are you?
We are present in Canada and in Holland, Switzerland, something in Austria, Oostenrijk.
Okay. Do you get a lot of visitors from Austria as well who come to the winery?
Yeah, but last year it was more Belgium and
Really?
Denmark and Holland. Yeah.
Do you have markets there as well?
In Holland.
In Holland,
yeah.
okay.
But they don't come. It's people that comes to visit Friuli, and I'm very happy about that. And also, one of my faults is that we used to spend too much money in promoting the wines and not in promoting the territory.
In fact, I wanted to talk to you about that.
I think it should be more a bottom-up process. We have to start from bringing people in Friuli. What I learned in the Frasca is that sometimes the people in the wine world thinks too much they are, the center of the universe. And what I learned in the Frasca is that, they care about wine. The great success we had is that we give high quality wines in an agritourism, which never happens, generally speaking.
Right.
But they're not there to concentrate on the wine, but just to feel well, And so I think that the goal for Friuli should be to bring people in Friuli, which maybe is not interested in wine, but when they will be back in Milan and they have a dinner, they will think, which is the very last region I visited? That's Friuli. Okay, let's buy a Friuli wine because I'm out of dinner, blah, 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 even if I don't care too much about wine. But you see that, we think we are very important, but if you see the bloggers, for example, one of the most famous blogger about the wine has in Italy 40,000, 60,000, maybe 70,000 followers. But when you have a blogger or influencer about food, it has 500,000 followers.
It's amazing.
1 million followers.
Yes.
So we have to understand that we are important for the Italian economy, PIL, etc., but we have to work more strictly with the tourism, the restaurants, and all this sort of world, and make a sort of of positive environment for all.
Yeah, you need sort of like a co-marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I remember, and we're talking 10 years ago, when I used to go to like the European Wine Bloggers Conference and a couple of other conferences. One that was in Brussels, which was very interesting, international wine business, something like that. And one of the things that they talked about was like, the world of wine is so thin, narrow, slim. There's not, like you said, 50,000 followers on a wine page is huge, so we needed to break out. We needed to sort of co-market. We needed to sort of like ride the coattails of like the food bloggers. And let's talk about more about food and how Friuli and wine matches with food, and not just about Friuli as a region. But I think, tourism is super important. If Natalie was here, she would like go off on this whole idea because that's sort of her gig right now. She's trying to drum up, she's trying to create an environment in Friuli where people can come and visit. And I think once that grows, just like, in Piedmont or in Tuscany, above all Tuscany, people want to go and visit. And then when they go home, they want to drink those wines again. So I think that's super important to create an environment here where people want to come and come back.
Yeah. And for this reason, you also have to take care about the landscape. It's famous that in Alto Adige, for example, they give the money, 100 euros, if you make a hill, un covone di fieno.
Really?
Il covone. No?
Yeah, like the haystack.
Yeah. Why? Because the people, when it drives through Alto Adige, see it, the old ways, it looks sweet and old-fashioned style, very slow. And that is a sort of territory marketing,
I don't know if it was I think it was either in France or maybe it was in Alto Adige as well.
Yeah.
All the houses have the geraniums by the windows.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that, oh, wow, everybody loves their flowers. Like, no, the town pays you to put those flowers in your windows so the place is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's true. So, I mean, we do have to sort of
this is the way we have beautiful. Yeah, we have to follow this sort of route.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So we don't have too much time left. It's 8:22 here, so we got 8 minutes left. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody was here who still wants to ask a question, Heather, Rosella, or whatever. Rosella was here, but she didn't ask a question. I just wanted to make sure.
Hi there.
There's Rosella. How you doing?
Ciao, Rosella.
Sorry, but it's quite impossible for me to hear you tonight. So I am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know what is going on, but maybe here in Trieste we will have some bora, I guess.
Yeah, it could be.
Basically, so basically, I'm quite interested in this Frasca Turismo. So I don't know when, but I'm pretty sure that I will.
You will pass by. Okay, super.
How can she find out more about the Frasca, Marco?
You can find us on the social or just on Google Maps if you
can really type Frasca Turismo, right?
Our official name is Blanc Eben.
Okay.
Which is so if you type Blanc Eben Frasca Turismo, you get the direction information because it's a word game, a word joke.
Okay.
Yep.
Play on words.
A play on word about a way in Friuli. We said when you have to face a job, you said, okay, let's do it Plank Eben, so slow and well.
Yeah.
So from Plank e Ben we make blanc, which in Friulano means un bianco, un bicchiere di bianco, and ben and well. So get a white.
This is nice.
I know.
It's cool.
I know.
I'm sure that
it's my wife's idea.
If you look on Facebook as well, if you look up Marco Cecchini, you will find their page and all the information you need.
Okay, we'll have a look. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rosella.
You're welcome.
So, how much wine do you sell direct now? Can you say? I mean, is that something that you want to share, or?
Well,
has it really jumped up a lot since you've opened the Frasca?
Well, we started very, very, very late this summer because of the COVID stuff and the May, which was very rainy.
Yeah.
So we opened mid-July, but from mid-July to the end of September, we made a very, very high number of bottles sold. And it was fun because the money we make with the Frasca were exactly the same amount of the money we made selling the bottles of wine where the people brings them home, from the Frasca.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought it was a success. We will work up to December, as we said, and we restart in April and do the whole season: April, May, June, July, and probably we will open one more day. So from Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we have a plan to restore, renew a terrace we have on the top of our winery to make
a huge
terrazza to make some events. Also with the help of my wife, some theater, maybe plays or some music plays or something.
I think we were talking about doing Comici e Calici.
Comici e Cali would be super cool.
Stand up, yeah.
Yeah, that would be super nice.
I totally want to do that.
Okay.
We've done that twice with my friend Francesco.
Okay.
We did it once. I think it was up in Faedis. The name of the winery escapes me right now. But then we did it once down at Puntine, Aquilea. Huge success. Last one we did, we had 100 people. So
wow.
Yeah, we had 100 people watching us make idiots
out of ourselves. Did they all laugh or not?
I was the funniest that evening.
Okay.
The first time I did it, I bombed completely. I was terrible. But the last time, I fucking killed it.
You did better.
Yeah, I did better. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
This is the way also to live the wine,
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't understand why these bloggers, they make these pictures drinking a crystal glass of wine in very improbable ways, in a bathroom or I mean, okay, you can do it once in your life. Yeah. Maybe you fill of water the bathroom with the foam, you get a book, the candles, maybe a glass of wine. But I mean, the right way to drink it is just with people all around you, maybe for a stand-up, listening to a stand-up comedian or a concert or eating something. I mean,
that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I look forward to doing that up there. But and also the Contesto is beautiful. I mean,
thanks so.
In the middle of vineyards, and
as I always say to the people that comes to and visit us, I defend every day with my work the privilege to do this job. Because it was a privilege to have the chance and opportunity to start. So I have this small house and a little vineyard. And it's something that it's very difficult for a young guy to do today if they don't have huge capitals on their back.
Yeah.
And it's difficult also to get the right money from the work and the quality you represent, because still people needs to understand the difference between an industrial wine or an artisanal wine or an organic wine. And as long as, the wine world is beautiful because it's the noble part of agriculture, but a young guy could also start making organic zucchini, but if the people don't understand that they should pay €2 for a kilo for the organic zucchini and not 80 cents per kilo as a normal zucchini, the young guy will never survive. They will close.
Yeah. So do you think the idea of sort of selling directly is a way
the best
that you
way,
can do that?
But you have also to teach the people, and the people needs to understand, and this is happening, to be sincere. There is a much more sensibility about that. And
people are willing to pay more for quality and for
people understood that in the market, in the supermarkets now you find industrial food, and there was a big break in the 50s and 60s. Now the people moved from the countryside to the cities to search for a better living, and they get different jobs, but they have to start buying the food in these markets. And to provide the markets, you need a different way of growing stuff. You need the prices. It's also, well, it will be very long, and we are at the end of this appuntamento.
It just means you're going to have to come back.
Yes, but it's also
We'll
a
talk
matter
about
of
supermarkets.
It's a political fact. It's 20 years that the Italy medium salary is stopped. So if the people don't have enough money, they can't buy good stuff.
It's true.
So if we don't grow as a country, we cannot also get a better life. So
Well, that's one of the things we talk about in the States as well.
Yeah.
It's so much cheaper in the United States
Yeah.
to eat shit food. That's true. It's so much cheaper to eat like a hamburger at McDonald's than to like actually buy, grass-fed beef and make your own hamburger at home. It actually costs, it's 99 cents for a fucking hamburger at McDonald's.
yeah.
And you're filled up.
We can use bad words on this class.
Yo, absolutely.
Oh,
This is
fuck.
oh yeah, no, this is totally an adult show. We can say whatever we wanna say.
It's not like
no, it's true. So I want to finish up because we're at an hour, and I want you to get home in time to snuggle up with your daughter. But I am going to steal something from Paolo Rodaro, and I'm going to ask you, what is your sogno nel cassetto? What is your secret little dream for the future?
Oh, my dream. Well, it's not a wine dream. I think, and I'm an optimistic guy, and I think the world is going better, and I want to see a better world for my daughters.
You know what? That gives me hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the news always gives you the bad
stuff.
the bad news, and it's a human stuff. I mean, you pay much more attention on the bad news than on the good news. So a TG with the good news will never work. But if you see the trends, and unless there is a lot of people suffering all over the world, the world is going better. The only problem today is the climate problem. But I hope the new generation will do something. They have to do something, and also I really trust in the scientific process of the humanity. They will find a way to do not waste the opportunity we had to grow on this planet.
I love your optimism. I'm optimistic too. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Marco.
But we have to work for it. Everyone should work for it.
We all have to sacrifice a little bit. Yeah. Marco, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Wayne.
Spending an hour with us. Thank you for everybody who was here. Heather and Rosella, Vanessa, Alessio, excuse me. Vanessa came up on stage. Vanessa, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say thank you, and I enjoyed it very much.
Okay, thanks, Vanessa. That's my favorite ex-wife, Marco.
Okay.
So thanks, Vanessa. I hope you're doing well. All right, guys. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Robbie, as always, for being here and taking care of us. Heather, Rosella,
Robbie.
Alessio, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marco.
Have a great day, everybody. Hey, I want to thank everybody this evening for coming. Thank you for listening. I appreciate Natalie Benlolo, our co-host, Rob Milani, our sound guy. Follow me on La Taverna Friuli on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram at Wayne Grape. And you can find this awesome music on YouTube at Beat Ambassador. Finishes with an A.